Hi readers, welcome back to Storytime with Tristan. Today I invite you to join me as we read the book, The Boy Who Knew How to Believe by Ashely Scott and illustrated by Joe Palisano. Little Nicky is a 6-year-old boy who lives with his loving parents. One day his parents took him to the neighborhood park. While there, Nicky played hide and seek with his parents until they became tired. As Nicky was about to walk over to the playground, he noticed a boy playing with his dog. The boy was running around in the grass while his dog happily chased after him. He then sat down on a bench and his dog followed, wagging his tail. Nicky stood smiling as he admired the bond that the boy and dog shared. The boy pet the dog's head a couple of times, put his leash on him and said, "Come on, Max, time to go home." Nicky thought to himself, I would love to have a dog. After Nicky spent some time playing on the playground, he and his parents headed home. Nicky thought about one day having his own dog. He thought about this while at the dinner table, while taking his bath, and while brushing his teeth before bed. The next day at school, Nicky decided to draw a picture of the dog he wanted. He drew a small furry gray dog and decided he would name his dog Buddy. Nicky began to picture Buddy in his mind and all the wonderful things he would do with his new best friend. He imagined himself playing with Buddy in his backyard and tossing a ball while Buddy eagerly chased after it and brought it back to him. He pictured walking Buddy around the neighborhood, taking him to the park and playground, teaching Buddy tricks, and Buddy playfully jumping into his arms. Nicky took his drawing with him everywhere he went. He would fold it neatly and tuck it down into his right pocket. Before he went to sleep at night, Nicky unfolded the picture of Buddy, looked at him and said, "You are my dog. I'm going to have you very soon, Buddy." For weeks, Nicky pictured Buddy in his mind and carried the picture of him around in his pocket and looked at his picture every night. One day, while Nicky was on the playground at school, he took out his picture of Buddy and began looking at it. Then he smiled and said, "I can't wait until I have you. I want to bring you to school and show you to my friends." Nicky's friend Terry came up behind him and asked, "Who are you talking to, Nicky? What are you looking at?" Nicky responded, "Oh, I'm talking to my dog Buddy that I'm going to have soon." Terry looked puzzled and then started to giggle. "Why are you talking to a piece of paper? That's weird. You're not going to get that dog, Nicky. You can't just draw something and then get it." Nicky replied, "Yes, I am going to get Buddy. I do my homework and get good grades, and I listen to my mom and dad. I believe they will get me a dog." Terry shrugged and said, "Whatever, Nicky. Let's play dodgeball." Nicky replied, "Okay, I'll be there in a second." Terry ran off while Nicky looked back at the picture of Buddy and said, "I don't care what he says. You're going to be my dog." However, Nicky's friend's words stuck with him, and part of him began to wonder if his parents would really get Buddy for him. Nicky continued to carry Buddy's picture around and look at it at night, but his belief was not as strong as it had been, and he started having doubts. What am I doing? Maybe I should stop this. One day, Nicky's Uncle Harry came from out of town to visit. Uncle Harry was Nicky's favorite uncle, and every time he came to visit, he would bring Nicky a very nice gift. Nicky greeted his uncle warmly with a big hug at the door. "Hi, Uncle Harry," Nicky said happily. "Hey, Nicky, how's my favorite nephew?" his uncle asked. "I'm great," Nicky exclaimed. Uncle Harry sat down and began talking and laughing with Nicky's parents outside on the patio. Nicky wondered if his uncle had brought him a gift this time, but he did not say anything to him about it. Later on that evening, Uncle Harry asked Nicky to go for a ride with him to the store. While driving, Uncle Harry said he had to make a stop at a friend's house. They pulled up in the driveway of a small house, and he and Nicky got out of the car. They were greeted by a nice lady at the door. She was an older lady in a flowered apron, and glasses rested on the brim of her nose. She said, "Hi, Nicky. We've been expecting you." Nicky was confused, but he smiled and said thank you. They entered the house, and Nicky followed the lady into her living room. To his amazement, his eyes laid upon a litter of puppies. One of the puppies just happened to be furry and gray, and when Nikki saw him, he instantly shouted, "Buddy!" Uncle Harry said, "You thought I forgot about your gift, didn't you, nephew? Pick whichever one you want." Nikki scooped up the gray furry puppy and said, "I want this one. This is my dog, Buddy." The dog gave an excited bark and licked Nikki's face. Nikki gave his uncle a great big hug and thanked him and the nice lady for Buddy. Nikki and his uncle got back in the car and waved goodbye to the woman. While on their ride back home, Nikki held Buddy in his lap while petting his head. He thought about how he had imagined Buddy in his mind and carried around his picture. He was so glad that he had not given up hope because now he finally had Buddy. Lovingly hugging his dog, Nikki said, "I waited for you and you finally came. I love you, Buddy." The end. I love this story so much because it teaches us about the power of our thoughts. Things aren't just going to appear magically, but when you believe in something for yourself, you have to think it will actually happen. Just like in our story, others might not believe, but you can't let their doubts discourage you. And it's important to understand that you have to be willing to work hard for what you believe in. Always remember to let your thoughts be positive and go after your dreams. If you believe that you can, you will find a way. I hope you enjoyed today's story as much as I did. Special thanks to Ashely Scott for allowing us to read her book, The Boy Who Knew How to Believe. You can learn more about Ashely by checking out her website, ashleyscottbooks.com. Make sure to support the author by purchasing your own copy of her book. Thanks for joining me on Storytime with Tristan. Follow me on Instagram or Facebook at Sisters Book Corner. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so that you can stay up to date on all my latest videos. I'll see you next time for another reading adventure.